Hey, my loves, we are back on the Danette May Show where I'm talking about wealth, manifesting wealth, money, all that good stuff. This is a 3-part series. So I did part 1 earlier today. You want to go listen to that first before jumping into right now, which is part 2. It's called part 1, the Manifesting Money series. Go listen to that first and then jump to this episode. But if you already listened to that, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. Go ahead and click that follow button right now because part 3 is getting dropped later this week and you'll get notified when it drops if you click that follow button. If you don't click that follow button, you will not get notified. So click that follow button. Wherever you're listening to this, you can still be listening and click it at the same time, my friends. I love you guys so much and thank you for letting me be vulnerable because this series is about me just speaking to you as a friend. I'm actually here in Costa Rica while I'm filming this, the land of abundance. And we're going to be talking about how do you get the mental zip code of abundance when you've been in the mental zip code of lack? Money doesn't grow on trees. Money's hard to get. Money's evil. How do you get it over to a new frequency? How do you get it to a different zip code? And you must if you want to live in that new zip code. Because when I am in Costa Rica, everything is abundant. The jungle is lush. The animals are everywhere. The signs, the energy frequency, the plentiful fruit to fish to vegetation. You could live off this land. You got fresh flowing rivers. It provides everything you need to sustain life. And it's a reminder that because you exist, you are already abundant. You just were taught that you weren't abundant. But if you were born here in Costa Rica, you would be like, I'm abundant. If you were born in the rawness of nature, you would already know that you were abundant. But the truth is, a lot of us are born in homes where we were told that we weren't and that we don't have enough and that, no, you can't buy this, you can't have this, that everything outside of you is outside of you and you must use money to get it. Whereas nature teaches you that you are nature and that if you know how to work with nature, you're always going to be fed and you're always going to have a roof over your head. Since the dawn of time, people have been living in caves, been living in different forms of whatever to survive. We just have been taught in our modern world that somehow we are lacking if we don't have a Louis Vuitton purse. So we got to get down to the basics. It's okay to want a Louis Vuitton purse. It's okay to want a yacht. It's okay to want a big house. It's okay to want these things if you really want them. But I believe for a healthy version of this, for you to really have a grounded version, because I've seen a lot of people make a lot of money and lose their health or lose their relationship or lose their happiness. They're not happy. Why not? Why would we want wealth if we're not going to be happy? Most of us think we want money because we think it's going to make us more happy. We got to get down to the basics. We got to really feel into that we are already abundant or we will get money and then we won't be happy. So this is what I'm teaching here is really about this grounded way of accumulating wealth, letting nature, being in the rhythm of nature, be the nurturer to accumulating this. So stay with me on this, okay? Because I don't teach fluff, I'm teaching truth. And what I really fundamentally have learned, even in my early days, is that how we treat Mother Earth is in direct relation to our bank account and our happiness with that bank account. So I'm talking about having money, but feeling grounded in having that money, having peace, having happiness, having fulfillment. Who wants money if you don't have any of those things? None of us do. Come on. You want to feel peace, fulfillment, groundedness, joy, happiness with money. So that's the only way I'm talking about this, okay? This is the only way I'm doing this discussion. I had to learn, and maybe you need to as well, is that the amount of wealth we're going to have is usually in direct relation to the way we treat Mother Earth. So if you would like to have more money, look at how you're treating Mother Earth. Do you disregard her? Do you throw trash on the ground? Do you think I'm going to just build a house and I'm just going to dig up the dirt? And I'm not going to think about the trees that are getting cut down and the way that it actually impacts the environment. Am I going to go for a hike and just walk all over her and not really respect where I'm walking, like especially in the desert? When you're walking in the desert, those plants, they're a whole ecosystem connected to one another. So when you step on the plants, it could kill them. If you know about aspen trees, their roots are all connected together. How you treat one aspen tree is how you treat all the aspen trees. So when you start to have this really beautiful relationship with Earth and really start seeing, where am I extracting from Mother Earth? Where am I like disregarding her or not even being aware of her and my movements on the earth and how they're affecting her? When we start to wake up to that, what happens is then you start to feel this deeper respect. You start to walk differently. You start to purchase a little bit differently. You start to make decisions a little differently because you start to be aware of her energy and what does she need and what does she love and what would be nurturing to her, and you will start to be blessed by her, meaning you will become more abundant. I'm telling you, that is number 1. How do you treat Mother Earth? Really looking at it. Do I recycle? Like the bare minimum. Do I starting to use non-toxic chemicals in my house and around my home? How do I treat my plants? How am I walking on earth when I'm hiking, building, creating? Do I ask the earth, is this okay? What things am I purchasing that could be harmful to the earth? We're never going to be perfect at it. That is the truth. We're never going to be perfect. And I don't think she expects us to be perfect about it. I just think that she would love us to be more aware. And when we're aware and we do our best, we become rewarded. And I also believe the way we treat Mother Earth is in direct reflection of how we treat the women in our lives, how we treat ourselves if we are a woman. How do we treat ourselves? When we start to treat Mother Earth better, we start to treat ourselves better as women. And what happens with that is as we start to treat ourselves better and honor ourselves, the men start to rise up and honor us, honor Mother Earth. It's a huge symbiotic relationship. How men treat their lovers, their daughters, their mothers is usually a direct relationship in how they treat Mother Earth. And men, especially, will be rewarded with more abundance, more money by honoring their lovers, their mothers, their daughters. When they really honor them, they're going to receive. Just think about it. This is my relationship with Mother Earth. If a man treats you with honoring, what do? You show up more for him. You want to cook for him. You want to love on him. And he gets filled up through your love, through your embrace, through your light. He gets more abundance in that way. He gets better sex, whatever you want to call it. It's no different with Mother Earth, right? And I would even say, for those of you who talk of God, believe in God, if you talk of God and believe in God, then you would honor whatever God created, which is the earth, which is you, which is women. So it is no different, like honoring all of life, honoring all of God who created life. And it becomes this symbiotic relationship of abundance. So that's step number 1 of changing your mental zip code, really looking at how you're treating Mother Earth and the women around you and yourself if you identify as a woman. And as you start to increase that, it will be an energetic that starts to evolve and swirl up for more abundance into your life, right? The second thing is to really start to notice your mental landscape around money. What was the money story you had growing up? What was that money story? And writing it down with no shame, no blame. It's just awareness of, okay, this was my money story as a child. Was it around lack? Was it around stress? Was it around I made it, then I lost it? What was that story? And then writing it down, because usually we subconsciously take on these stories of our childhood and they don't have to be ours. So you got to take the opposite side of your awareness of lack. and then write the affirmative. And then you repeat it over and over, stating it. Of course, you're not going to believe it right at first, but repeating it, saying it over and over as you continue to honor Mother Earth, continue to honor yourself. You will start to see and witness a little bit more coming in, or ideas coming in, right? Because this is all how you start to flip that mental zip code. So this is the stuff that I did. And I started to look at where I thought, oh, I can't be a good mom and make money outside of the home. You can see the predicament I was in. I had to work outside the home. I was a single mom. But I grew up with the idea that if you weren't a stay-at-home mom, then you weren't being an effective, good mom. And so I had to wrestle with that story. I had to rewrite that story that I could be a wonderful mother and still work outside the home. And then I started to really enjoy work. I really enjoyed creating. I really enjoyed studying health and wellness and sharing it with others. So then I had to rewrite it even more and be like, I actually, in my joy, I'm empowering my daughters to find things that they're joyed about and stay in their enjoyment and know that it's all fulfilling to their children when they're in joy. And then a child only wants their mother in joy, in true joy. And I can still be an incredible mother and work outside the home. I had to rewrite that story. So for you, it could be around money doesn't grow on trees, and really write out, yeah, money doesn't grow on trees, but money grows with my effort. Money grows with my mindset. Money grows in my honoring. So changing it and reading it every single day. This is how you change the mental zip code. And then I also had to really look at my belief systems. And when I say belief, usually the underbelly of belief is worthiness. Do I feel worthy to actually have money? Do I feel worthy to be in abundance? Am I somebody that deserves to go on the trips she wants to go on, or to make the money she wants to make? I had to really look at that because my self-worth was quite low. I had gone through a hard divorce. I'd pulled out of this religion, so my parents were really upset with me. I didn't have girlfriends. I didn't have a solid group or network. And the network I did have was in my religion. And now I'd pulled away from my religion. So I was alone. I felt like on an island. And maybe you feel that too. And you have to look at, okay, where's my worthiness? Do I love myself? Do I believe I'm someone worthy for abundance? And a lot of times we think, oh, yeah, I do. But if you don't have it, most likely you haven't gotten to the underbelly of your worthiness around it. And worthiness is tough because worthiness is tricky. It's tricky. It's not usually about money when it comes to worthiness. Worthiness is usually around having freedom, freedom to be who you are, freedom to express your sexuality, freedom to express your voice and your truth, freedom to dress the way you want to dress. Worthiness is more usually in that, and it's a direct tie to financial worthiness because a lot of times it's hand in hand. If you are feeling unworthy in your relationships, right, you continually attract these partnerships that are just not treating you right, or you're not really respecting yourself in these partnerships. There's usually a correlation between the amount of money that you accumulate. So really getting to the bottom of your worthiness. And there's a lot of things you can do around building up your worthiness. And I think that's creating a really deep connection with source energy, whether you want to call it God or universe or energy, but having a deep relationship, a spiritual relationship with why you're here and who you are and the magnificence of who you are and the divinity of who you are. That to me is the deeper work of worth. When I know and I can really understand and believe in the truth of who I am, which is this divine daughter of God, that I come from the stars and I come from God and I'm loved no matter what I do or don't do, that all of the magnificence I see around me is breathing through me. The consciousness is just using me to express itself. When I got into those deep beliefs and belief understanding around the truth of who I am, the worthiness tends to rise to the surface. The worthiness, of course, if there's no egoic to it, it just is. I'm a daughter of God. I am worthy of anything and everything that's truly true for my heart. And I'm worthy of abundance, and I'm worthy of groundedness and fulfillment and happiness and laughter in the abundance. I'm worthy to be honored, and I'm worthy to honor myself because I exist. Simple as that. And that takes time. That takes some early morning practice, potentially, or a daily practice, I should say, of connecting to source energy through prayer, through meditation, through walking through nature, through journaling gratitudes. These are all ways, through breath work, through moving our bodies because it feels delicious, whether that's through running or biking or playing pickleball or stretching or yoga, whatever it is for you, or dancing. These things are ways to start honoring ourselves. When we feed ourselves really nutritious, delicious food, we tend to start to honor ourselves on an deeper level. Food has a huge, because it comes straight from Mother Earth. When we eat really nurturing foods that are not laced with chemicals and over processing, that fuels us and it creates light in our bodies and it creates a sense of worthiness. It's really beautiful. When we eat dead food and processed food and chemicalized food, which most of us have, it numbs our cells, it numbs our vitality and our worthiness. So this is also that symbiotic relationship with nature. So I just shared with you 3 things: honoring Mother Nature, really looking at your belief systems around what were those belief systems as a child around money, and then shifting it and flipping the script, and then looking at your belief, which is really laced with worthiness, and doing practices to build the worthiness. And those practices are varied, right? But having a daily practice. And when you stay in that consistency, and then you continue to work hard. So we can't forget that, right? And you stay in that consistency and you stay in that energy every single day, you will start to notice it wasn't like I just made money overnight. I told you guys 5 years, 6 years, then 10 years. This was my practice. It still is my practice every single day, whether I'm on vacation or whatnot. Because I don't want to just have money. I want to have fulfillment. I want to have freedom. I want to feel a sense of worth. And I want to also feel that if it all went away, I'm still okay. And that can happen for all of us. So these are some steps to really change the mental zip code. On part 3, I'm going to go a little bit deeper on some ideas of the practicality of increasing your financial abundance, and also just a little bit more of some practicalities of what I did, because I believe the industry is changing. And that's exciting, actually. And how do we dance and flow with the industry shifting and changing? So that is going to be in part 3 that's coming up. These are like quickie series while you're driving around or cleaning your house. And I love you being a part of this family and this journey. So go ahead and click that follow button so you're totally notified of the next episode coming out of this 3-part series. I love you all so much, and I hope you have a beautiful day. And if you've loved these episodes, please share them out. Please rate and review this podcast. It really helps me to be able to fund the podcast as well as getting it out so more people tune in, which also keeps the lights on and the podcast going. So thank you for being a part of this family. I love you all so much. And I'll see you on part 3 of manifesting wealth and manifesting money in our lives. I love you guys. See you next time.